These films got it all wrong. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 comic book characters that movies ruined.
Mandarin. Seriously.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're examining the comic book characters that movies managed to botch, butcher, and make nearly unrecognizable, at least according to many critics and fans. Some spoilers are inbound, so duck and cover. Number 10, Lex Luthor, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Ahoy, ahoy, I did not know you were here.
Lex Luthor is Superman's cunning archenemy, a brilliant businessman, and a charismatic leader. The version in Batman v Superman is none of those things. They rely on plot convenience instead of explicit intelligence or planning.
The devils don't come from hell beneath us, no. No, they come from the sky.
In addition, Jesse Eisenberg's performance is eccentric and quirky, to put it mildly, and the actor, while undeniably talented, had many thinking he didn't have the gravitas to carry the role.
Punishment for witches, what is that? That's right, death by fire.
It's not even that he's a young actor. Smallville had an excellent young Luthor, played by Michael Rosenbaum, so it can be done. Eisenberg's Luthor was found to be so bad by the general public that we shouldn't be surprised that many wished he'd gotten the same treatment as Jimmy Olsen did in the film. Number 9, Ghost Rider, the Ghost Rider franchise.
Look into my eyes.
Ghost Rider is a demonically powered, flaming-skulled, leather-clad badass whose motorcycling, flame chain wielding, and general grittiness have made him a popular character for decades. Several characters have carried the mantle of Rider over the years, but the one depicted in the film series is Johnny Blaze, played by Nicolas Cage.
Are you trying to kill yourself?
Now, don't get us wrong. Watching Cage's hammy, absurd overacting is always entertaining. However, it rarely makes for a good performance, or movie, and it isn't true to Ghost Rider's determined, revenge-driven persona. Meanwhile, the films themselves were given pretty subpar reviews too. Number 8, Spawn.
You sent me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor.
Speaking of anti-heroes with demonic powers, Spawn proved to be another popular superhero granted unholy abilities by hell itself. The character's film adaptation put something of a damper on that popularity, however. This was primarily due to the lack of characterization by the titular hero, who was not depicted very sympathetically, despite the skills of Michael Jai White.
I feel much better now.
The direction and cheesy script weren't liked by the critics and marred the reputation of the beloved character in the eyes of the general public, making a sequel or reboot to correct the impression left by this version a difficult task.
Give my regards to your boss. Tell him he's next.
Number 7, Judge Dredd.
I am the law.
The title character of this comic adaptation is meant to be a gruff, no-nonsense cop, judge, jury, and executioner. Unfortunately, this version featured a whole lot of nonsense, just like the film he appeared in.
I knew you'd say that.
Sylvester Stallone's scenery-chewing performance would give Nick Cage a run for his money, and people thought the rest of the film was just as tacky and overblown. Unlike our last entry, this character did get a more worthy adaptation to cleanse the bad taste left behind by the 90s film, in the form of the exceptional Dredd.
This isn't a negotiation. The sentence is death.
Number 6, Mandarin, Iron Man 3.
I'm gonna shoot him in the head. Live on your television in 30 seconds.
The Mandarin is a powerful supervillain and scientist whose 10 alien rings offer a wide range of supernatural abilities, making him an excellent contrast to the purely scientific Iron Man, his archenemy.
America. Ready for another lesson?
Iron Man 3 looked like it was going in a different direction with the character, making him into an enigmatic terrorist, which in itself might have been controversial. But instead, it's revealed that the Mandarin is just a character being portrayed by an oblivious actor, with the man behind the scenes being someone completely different.
Mandarin? See, it's not real.
Turning Iron Man's biggest enemy into a joke and momentary misdirection outraged many comic book fans, and we share their disappointment.
I am the Mandarin.
Number 5, Electro, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Don't you know? I'm Electro.
This electricity-powered villain is one of Spider-Man's most enduring and formidable foes. The Electro shown in the second installment of the Amazing Spider-Man films is less than true to the source material, though. In this film, Max Dillon, the man who becomes Electro, is an awkward and nerdy engineer, whose obsession with Spider-Man has people calling him creepy even before he gets his powers.
Then let's go catch a spider.
After gaining his abilities, Electro's villainous activities have been compared more to a spurred tantrum than any kind of relatable motivation, and his threat level, as well as the character's reputation, is tarnished because of it.
You set me up.
No, I didn't set you up.
You lied to me.
Number 4, Bane, Batman and Robin.
Hurry. Quickly.
Very few characters in this film do any justice to their comic book counterparts. And while it was tempting to put Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy on this list, Bane is the character that many feel was most shortchanged by comparison. In the comics, Bane is a genius tactician, granted impressive strength through a serum. In Batman and Robin, the villain is portrayed as nothing but a dumb, muscular henchman for Poison Ivy, whose intellect is as complex as his speech.
His name is Bane.
A laundry service that delivers. Wow!
Director Joel Schumacher took a formidable member of Batman's rogues gallery and turned him into a grunting, moronic minion, in a move comic book fans would deem worthy of a real-life supervillain. Number 3, Galactus. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
It is known by many names. My people called it Galactus.
This giant, man-shaped, planet-destroying wielder of the power cosmic is one of the Fantastic Four's most fearsome foes, and one of the heaviest hitters in the Marvel Comics multiverse.
It must feed on energy to survive.
Galactus' need to destroy planets to stay alive always made him a departure from the typical villain archetype. Even so, Rise of the Silver Surfer departed even further from that. Instead of a humanoid cosmic entity, Galactus is depicted as a destructive space cloud. While the comic book Galactus is akin to a force of nature in terms of how unstoppable he is, the film took away most of what made the character, well, a character, by removing his body and mind. Number 2, Venom, Spider-Man 3.
I like being bad.
The fusion of a semi-liquid alien symbiote and journalist Eddie Brock, Venom is another one of Spider-Man's greatest villains and arguably his most iconic. In the comics, Eddie Brock is a guy with a hefty physique and a reckless attitude, making his eventual personality and appearance as Venom understandable.
Parker, you are such a Boy Scout. When are you gonna give a guy a break?
In Spider-Man 3, Eddie is depicted as a snarkier version of Peter Parker. While the parallels do emphasize that Peter could become like Venom if he continued wearing the symbiote suit, the fact that he became a jerk while wearing it already did that effectively, making Brock's transformation into Venom untrue of the character and redundant to boot.
Ooh, my spider sense is tingling.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Gotham's finest. Well-to-do. Influential. Surely one of you knows who Batman is. Hell, odds are one of you pasty-faced twits is Batman. You can never strike gold!
Number 1, Deadpool, X-Men Origins Wolverine. Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, is a regenerating, fourth wall breaking, cheeky anti-hero, and one of the most entertaining characters in Marvel Comics. Although X-Men Origins got the cheeky part right, and casting Ryan Reynolds was a good move, they got just about everything else wrong, if the negative reaction to the character is to be believed at least. In the movie, Wilson is given a grab bag of other mutants' powers, including teleportation and Cyclops' eye beams, by the Weapon X program. To add injury to insult, they even sewed his lips shut, muzzling the merc with a mouth. If there's one consolation to this perceived travesty towards the character, it's that it probably led to the much better version we got in 2016.
Shut the up, or I'll sew your pretty mouth shut.
Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.